Thank you, Senator Tester. Senator Scott, you are recognized for your questions.
First, I want to thank Chair Peters and Ranking Member Fisher for hosting this hearing today. As President Biden continues to push failed policies and unconstitutional vaccine mandates, the United States is facing a major supply chain crisis. The higher prices and product shortages caused by this crisis are hurting families like poor families that are struggling every day to make ends meet, and our small businesses in my state, I know all across the nation. Around my state, what they're seeing shelves not stocked with everyday items, and it's an everyday challenge to get the goods on the shelves. So what we've seen is, instead of creating a friendly business environment to help rebound from the pandemic, President Biden has made a priority of his administration to add burdensome regulations that have stifled economic growth. When I was governor of Florida, what I saw is it's not just cutting taxes, it's reducing regulations, streamlining the permitting process to help you get more jobs. We have 15 seaports in my state, and what we're seeing around the country is American ports are experiencing severe cargo delays as we head into the holiday season. We're also seeing inflation now is the worst it's been in 30 years. And as I talk to many manufacturers, are seeing double-digit cost increases, and that's going to get passed on over the next year or two to customers. I find what I've watched is, instead of the Secretary of Transportation and the Secretary of Commerce going on and figuring out how to solve a problem, what I'm seeing is they go on TV and they're great commentators about what the problem is, but they don't solve it. I've requested an oversight hearing in this committee to address the current supply chain crisis. I've called for Secretary of Transportation Buttigieg and Secretary of Commerce Raimondo to testify about what their plans are. When I was governor of Florida, when we had a problem, we got on a plane, we went down to the city, and we sat there and solved the problem. And what we're seeing right now with those two secretaries is, I see them on TV, but I've not seen one of them go to the port in Long Beach and done squat. That's not what you do if you get elected or you get appointed to these positions. So I want to thank Chair Peters and Ranking Member Fisher for hosting this meeting, and I'm encouraging Chair Cantwell to urge Secretary Buttigieg and Secretary Raimondo to share their solutions. I don't know why they wouldn't want to come and share their solutions and have shown what they're going to do to solve these problems. But in the meantime, I'm going to hold all the nominations to the Department of Transportation and Commerce until that happens. I think the American public deserves it, and I think it's wrong that they won't come here and tell us what they're doing to fix it. So my first question is for Mr. Butler. So as the CEO of World Shipping Council, what would you say? Would you say the Department of Transportation has a pretty significant impact on shipping and the overall supply chain?
Senator, the fact of the matter is that whether it's the Department of Transportation or any other part of the government, there is a limited number of things that government can do to unwind this situation. There's been a lot of talk today about some of the infrastructure investments, and in the long term, those are absolutely critical. But in terms of the short-term situation that we're facing today with this import surge, that's really just saturated the supply chain from end to end. It's going to be commercial actors, the folks that run that supply chain, that unwind that thing. We appreciate all the help we can get, but in the end, it's our job.
So when I had a hurricane, some days we were selling 9 times as much gas in one day, and for a week before a hurricane, we sell multiples. And what we did is we sat down, we organized, and we sat down with every level, every player all along, and we streamlined the process. We waived regulations. We had Highway Patrol help move the trucks to get the gas out. And I've not seen one thing like that out of this administration. And so I don't believe that it's going to be run by government, but clearly government could have an impact by just helping move the process along and getting everybody together and talk about it, because you have to be able to streamline this. And I haven't seen them do it one time. So Mr. King and Mr. Doyle, what do you guys employ? How many jobs each of you have?
We have about 80 positions in the United States, and we have a small company in Mexico where we have about 50 employees.
How many non-essential workers? How many non-essential workers do you guys have?
Probably 0. They're all pretty essential, and we've been fortunate to keep all of them throughout all of this. And in a lot of ways, the system has worked quite good. The PPP was very helpful, and we stayed open through all of the pandemic, and we have not let anyone go. We need all of them. They're all essential.
How about you? Any non-essential? So when you hear these regulations that come out that you got to treat these non-essential workers somehow, differently, does that make any sense to you?
If you're talking to me, no. As far as Nebraska, the unemployment rate is quite low, and I think we want to continue to encourage hardworking Americans and reward them, and that's so that, yeah, there's a great need for work, and we're grateful for a great workforce that we have, but certainly need to continue to encourage them and reward those that are working.
Yeah, I would completely concur with what was just said. Our issue isn't unessential workers. Our issue is not having enough workers at the moment. We have what I would consider an outstanding company culture. I think we address a lot of the questions of wages, training and development, excellent leadership throughout the facility, and my biggest concern is that we need to focus on growing employment and focusing on the things that will continue to attract people to us as their best option as a place to work, because through our work, they can provide for their families and they can provide for their personal and professional development. That's our focus on employment.
Thanks for being here. Thank you, Chair Peters. Thank Ranking Member Fisher.
Thank you, Senator Scott. Senator Warnock, you're recognized.